All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to unpack the world of qualitative research, but maybe in a way you haven't thought about before. We're using a really cool framework from Dr. Philip Adu that's less about the methods themselves and more about the mindsets behind the researchers who use them. It's going to be a good one. So, if you've ever looked at a list of qualitative methods, you know that feeling, right? It can feel like you're staring at a giant, complicated maze. You've got phenomenology, you've got grounded theory, you've got art-based approaches. I mean, where do you even start? Well, what if I told you the key isn't just picking a method, but understanding your own mindset as a researcher? Okay, so first up, we've got the traditionalist. The best way to think about this person is as a true master of their craft. You know, someone who has really dedicated themselves to one of the big foundational methods, the ones that form the very bedrock of qualitative research. So what makes a traditionalist tech? It's all about depth. They don't just, dabble in a method, they live and breathe it. Their work is so deeply tied to a specific philosophy that it becomes the lens through which they see everything in their research. It's powerful stuff. And because of that, their toolbox is super specialized. They're working with the classics, like phenomenology, where you're trying to get to the absolute essence of an experience, or ethnography, where you literally immerse yourself in a different culture. A traditionalist isn't trying to be a jack of all trades. They're aiming for total mastery of one of these time-tested approaches. So, how do you know their research is actually legit? Well, for the traditionalist, the rigor and credibility come directly from that deep connection to philosophy. Every single choice they make can be justified because it's all grounded in a really well-established and respected way of thinking. It's solid. Okay, let's shift gears completely. If the traditionalist is that master craftsman with one perfect tool, then meet the pragmatist. This is the ultimate adapter, the versatile problem solver. For the pragmatist, one thing rules them all: the research question. That's it. They aren't loyal to any single philosophy. Instead, they look at a problem and they ask, okay, what's the absolute best tool for this specific job? Flexibility is their entire game. And you can see this flexibility perfectly when you look at their toolbox. I mean, it is wide open. A pragmatist is totally comfortable using a classic ethnographic approach one day and then pivoting to something newer like netnography to study online communities the next. Whatever it takes to get the best answer, that's the right tool. Now, the pragmatist makes their work rigorous in a different way. Their justification doesn't come from sticking to one philosophy. Nope. It comes from their ability to stand up and defend their choice using tons of existing literature and best practices. They basically have to prove to everyone that, yeah, this method I picked, it was absolutely the best choice for this study. And that brings us to our final mindset, which is really fascinating: the innovator. These are the true pioneers. These are the folks who aren't just using the map, they're the ones drawing it for everybody else. So, an innovator is an expert, usually someone who's been in the field for a long time, and they spot a gap. They see a research problem that the existing tools just can't solve properly. So, they draw on their incredible knowledge of all the existing methods and philosophies, and they don't just pick a tool, they invent a brand new one. But wow, creating a new method, that comes with a huge burden of proof. It's not enough to just have a cool idea. An innovator has to have that deep, deep knowledge of philosophy. They have to carefully develop the new approach, and then they have to provide a rock-solid argument for why it's even needed in the first place, backing it all up with existing literature. It's a massive undertaking, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As Dr. Adu himself puts it, innovators have to provide a strong argument and convincing rationale for their new method. Why? Because without that, any findings they produce just won't be seen as credible by the rest of the research community. It has to be airtight. So there we have it: the traditionalist, the pragmatist, and the innovator. Now, it might be tempting to look at this and think it's some kind of ladder you have to climb, but that's really not the point at all. Let's pull this all together. Seeing them all side by side like this really makes it all click, doesn't it? Look at the key traits. For the traditionalist, it's depth. For the pragmatist, it's flexibility. And for the innovator, it's creation. And you can see how that connects directly to how they prove their work is sound, through philosophical alignment, appeal to best practices, or building a brand new, powerful rationale from the ground up. And honestly, this right here is the most important takeaway. This isn't a ranking of good, better, and best. Not at all. These are three totally distinct, totally valid, and equally rigorous paths that all lead to the exact same destination: creating findings that are credible and trustworthy. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So this leaves us with something to think about. Understanding these mindsets is more than just an academic exercise. It gives us a new language to talk about our own work. It helps us understand where we are and where we might want to go. So now that you know the paths, which one feels the most like you right now? And more importantly, which one will you explore next?